Hi everyone. In this video I'll be looking at more ways in which Bach creates 8th note motion in his chorales. Bach often uses 8th notes to increase the rate of harmonic change, especially leading up to cadences. Here, for example, leading up to this final cadence in E minor, although a change of harmony doesn't occur on every 8th note beat, 8th note motion is maintained by a series of tied notes, some of which are suspensions and their preparation, and by sevenths or common notes. Also by changes of chord inversion. For example, here and here, root position G major and E minor chords move to their first inversions. Here a change of harmony does occur on every 8th note beat, leading to this final cadence in G major. Here the 8th note contrary motion creates a gap between the upper and lower voices, and the introduction of E minor's raised 6th and 7th degrees here prolongs its tonic chord, briefly tonicizing that key. Some of the ways in which Bach uses 8th note suspensions in his chorales include as tied notes, as repeated notes, prepared by a non-harmony note, with resolution over another chord, with resolution over a different inversion of the same chord, and as a suspension chain. Some of these characteristics can be seen in the following chorales. Here, this 9/8 suspension is prepared by the fifth of the preceding dominant 7th chord and sounds and resolves over G minor harmony. Here, the 4/3 suspension prepared by the root note of the preceding B flat major chord also sounds and resolves over the same harmony, which is here an F major triad. The minor 7th degree is then added to the F chord, which moves as an interrupted cadence to the following G minor chord, the root note of which is delayed by a 9/8 suspension prepared as the third of F7 harmony. G minor's doubled root note then prepares the following 4/3 suspension over D minor harmony. D minor's third then prepares the following 9/8 suspension over E flat major harmony, the doubled root note of which then prepares the following 4/3 suspension over B flat major harmony. Here the resolution of the suspension and the passing note in the bass interact as a fourth, which is allowable here because the A is a non-harmony note while the D is a harmony note. Here, an upper neighbour note to the root note of G minor's dominant is tied to create a 2/3 suspension over the same dominant chord, now with an added 7th. The dominant 7th is then transferred into the bass voice and tied to resolve as a 2/3 suspension over the following G secondary dominant chord. 2 bars later, the 7th of this F7 chord is also tied to resolve as a 2/3 suspension over this first inversion B flat major chord. And here, the 5th of this dominant chord is repeated as the 9th of this 9/8 suspension, the 9th of which sounds over tonic G minor harmony, while the octave resolution sounds as the 5th of the following subdominant 7th chord. The subdominant's 5th degree is then sustained to sound as a 4/3 suspension, which sounds and resolves over dominant harmony on the following quarter note beat. Earlier in the same chorale, the dominant of B flat major has its 3rd degree delayed by a 4/3 suspension. In both of these instances, the suspension is prepared as the doubled root note of B flat major tonic harmony, which here resolves as a 16th note before the melody continues through this G passing note to the dominant's root note. As here, a suspension's resolution doesn't necessarily need to use the same note value as the suspension itself, and may be of a shorter value. It should be remembered, however, that the reverse, where a suspension's preparation is of a shorter value than the suspended note, is typically avoided. Including the resolution as a shorter note value is not as common as having equal values for the suspension and the resolution. However, if a shorter value is used, often, as in this example, the resolution's harmony is extended and includes the resolution in another part. This usage is probably the most common and needs no explanation, except to say that 8th note passing and neighbour notes may be doubled at the interval of a third or sixth, such as in the following example. Here, this A dominant 7th degree is doubled by this B note, and here F sharp minor's root note and third are displaced by these accented passing notes, moving from the D major tonic's root note and third. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.